Welcome. This is Sharice Taylor, and I'm the host of the Time Matters podcast and Facebook page. And today, our topic is entrepreneurship. And I want to welcome my guest, Sylvia Montgomery. She is the owner and founder of Sims Production and Services. So, thank you so much for taking time to speak with me today.
You're welcome.
Um, let's talk about what does it mean to you? What does it mean to be an entrepreneur?
So, Sharice, to me, being an entrepreneur is about being of service, being of help. Entrepreneurs feel a need, solve problems. For the most part, for me, it's about living freely to be the person that I was meant to be and to not have to live to fulfill or live towards someone else's dreams. The way I look at it, we can either work to support someone else's goals, someone else's dreams, or we can become entrepreneurs and support our own purpose, our own goals, and our own dreams because we all have a purpose. And if we're not fulfilling that purpose, if we're not living it, then one of the things I always question is why do I exist if I'm not fulfilling the purpose that I
Mhm,
was meant to fulfill? So,
mhm.
and I think that being an entrepreneur actually helps me to be able to do that.
That's great. I think that's important for people to hear and students to hear because they may have a feeling of calling and not
Hmm.
know how to express that
Absolutely.
and what path is available for them. So when we're talking about entrepreneurs, what qualities and qualifications are needed to be a successful entrepreneur?
Wow. This question is a little hard. This is a new journey for me. And I think, though, that the thing that's needed most is the right mindset. I think it all comes from within. Anyone can become an entrepreneur, but not everyone succeeds in doing what they set out to do
Hmm.
as an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurship is not for the faint at heart. If you emotionally bruise easily, then that's enough to just throw the towel in on everything that you set out to do. Um, you have to have a thick skin and you have to know that this is your rightful assignment, like that purpose I was talking about earlier.
Hmm.
And I say that because there are going to be times where you're going to fail, you're going to fall. It's going to take a lot to get back up. It's going to take a lot to keep going. It's going to take a lot to continue to fail until you finally get it right.
Hmm.
And most people give up before they're even able to get to that point where they are getting it right or where they've, failed enough times to know that, okay, this is it. This is how we're
Hmm.
going to do it this time.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurs, they take risk, not just financial risk, but risks of getting knocked down time and time again. But if you know that this is your assignment, if you know that this is your path in life, then you'll be able to stick with it. You'll have that stick to itness to do what you have to do to get back up every single time, because this thing is bigger than you. So I would say that mindset is the biggest qualification because how you're thinking, where your head is, how you respond to all those times where you get knocked down and you fail, how you respond, it's going to be the determining factor for how you get through all those blockers and barriers that will enter your life as a result of trying to pursue entrepreneurship.
And I think that response is important and how you talk about failure because as students, maybe you didn't get the grade that you wanted. How do you change? What do you do
Mhm.
differently to respond and improve that for yourself? So I think that's really important for students to know that it doesn't stop when school stops.
It doesn't stop when someone says no. You get that first no, you sometimes you just keep going.
Right.
Michael Jordan, what if he had decided he didn't want to pursue basketball? after not making the team his sophomore year in high school.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. So
Right.
we just got to have it. It's all in the mindset.
You're right. So can you tell us a little bit about your company, what you do, the types of people that you work with?
Okay, so certainly. So my company is not your ordinary company. First, let me say I'm a visionary, and God has been giving me this vision, and like most people know, I don't just go out and run with it. It's taken me years to get to this point that yes, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to go after this because He has just kept giving it to me, and I didn't act. So I'm at that point. I had been doing some of this stuff for years. I retired from federal government after 30 years of service, but I was always doing some of this stuff on the side, even through all of that. But
Mhm.
I didn't claim the title of entrepreneurship until about a year ago, after I did early retirement and decided this is what I'm going to do. So while I've been doing some things that God had laid on my heart to do, I never did them to their fullest. And now I'm at that point where I can actually see the vision and I see it so clearly. So I can see the company that He's laid out for me. He's designed this thing, and I'm just trying to figure out how to implement it. So my business that was formerly Sims Productions is now Sims Production and Services, because services is complete it.
Mhm.
And it's a lot of offerings at once, I know, but it's how God has designed it, and I'm just going with it. So I'll start at Sims Productions, which was my first love. That's where it all started. Um, so I've always been a writer all of my life, even from early school years. Then I found myself writing this really, really long story and not really knowing where it was going or why I was even writing it, that ended up being a fictional novel.
Oh, wow.
Then I was led to do community theater, so I've written some scripts um, uh, uh, over the years, directed, produced, brought the people together and did that. Quite a few times in my community as live community theater. And then I took that a step up and actually wrote a movie script. I tuned that down though into a drama series that's meant it's episodes, 8 episode drama series. And the first season has already been filmed. It's currently in editing mode, so I'm really excited about that.
Wow.
Due to COVID, we've had to take some steps back, so it's really
Right.
way off schedule,
Hmm.
way off track. But it is a project that will be live streamed through Prime Video. Still have a ways to go. I've written up through the first 3 seasons of that, so that's where the whole Sims Productions just sort of takes its shape. But
Hmm.
now, we have these other services.
Yes.
So I also manage a customer support center that hires people looking to make extra income to become customer service reps. And you can start working there as early as age 18. So if you're in college looking to make some extra money, there's an opportunity because it's a work from home opportunity. So you can work from anywhere and set your own schedule. So that's one service. And
Hmm.
because of my love for writing, I'm also a freelance writer where I help businesses to better shine through their written content like Facebook. I write blogs, do research. I get the newsletters and emails, things of that nature, any type of copy or content for businesses. And I also edit as well. And lastly, as a licensed insurance agent, it only made sense to bring that whole financial services component up under everything else I was doing under the Sims umbrella, so I could have everything in one place. So
Hmm.
there's the production focus, the customer service focus, the freelance writing focus, and a financial services focus. And in each of these divisions, I plan to scale up to have teams in each of them. There's already a team in place for the production because, we had to have a team in place to do that.
Hmm.
But again, that's something that I plan to expand a little more on in the future. So we'll be doing even more in that area. It'll be opportunities for others to submit work and will actually produce their work and
Hmm.
things of that nature, scale it up to that point. Um, but I do see building in each of those areas.
Wow. So the people that say they don't have time to do anything, You just blew that out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's important, you're going to make time and make it happen. And that really, that's what entrepreneurs do, right? There's no excuses. You do
Uh-huh.
what you have to do. And I love it.
That's
So
right.
with all of
Thank you.
those, absolutely, with all of those services and projects that you're doing, do you now offer opportunities for internships or any scholarships or shadowing opportunities for
Mm-hmm.
students or anyone that might be interested in any of those areas?
So, I'm always forward think. I'm always thinking what the future will bring.
Mm-hmm.
So, absolutely, scholarships has always been at the forefront, and I've already thought up how that would work once that opportunity is available. So, it is something I am planning to introduce in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm sure it will have a focus on business or entrepreneurship, something of that nature, but it's definitely in my thought process as I think to the future, as I continue to scale and grow and can make those opportunities available. As for internships, absolutely, I see those coming as well. There will be opportunities for internship positions for freelance writers, creative writers. Um, uh, there will be other opportunities in film production once we get that back up and going and
Mm-hmm.
get that position in place as I want it to. Again, for more writers, production crew, and cast. So we currently do have positions for customer service and in the financial services industry. So,
Right.
I would recommend anyone interested in either of those to just visit my website because all of the information is there. I actually have a frequently asked questions page for both of those work opportunities through customer service and the financial services industry, as well as an application to apply.
Oh, excellent. And so for those who may be interested in any of those positions, what is your website?
So it's at Sims, www.simsps1.com. And Sims is with two M's.
Excellent. So you have shared a lot, and I think a lot of what I heard was writing. And so I think it's great, especially for those students that really enjoy writing, um, and those
Mhm.
who may think, about writing, or maybe they don't like writing. But what I've heard is there's so many opportunities when you improve that skill for different areas and all the services that you just mentioned. So that's really good for students to hear that as well.
Mhm.
And so, do you have any other pearls of wisdom for students to make the most use of their time as they prepare for life after high school? For those that may be interested in becoming entrepreneurs, maybe they're doing something now, and your words can really encourage them to continue.
Yeah, it's such a hard time, life after high school is still trying to, we don't know what from what and still trying to figure things out. When I think back to that time in my life, I just knew I was going to school, but I didn't know what to major in. And I pretty much just majored in what I thought was the end thing.
Mhm.
What I thought would be good that everybody else was doing. So it's really good, uh, if you can come out of high school and be really focused and know what it is you want to do in life and have, and if especially if you know you want to own your own business, then that's just great. And I do have a few things, I would say to this particular question, and that is first, entrepreneurship, as I said earlier, is about service. We are a service to people, and it's not the other way around. Where people are not there for us, we're there for the people. Entrepreneurs are innovators. So we're constantly thinking what the next great big idea is. We see a need and we figure out a way to fill it. So if your first priority on this journey is not about the people, and being of service to the people's needs then and to their pain points because we have pain points, then
Mhm.
entrepreneurship may not be for you. But if it is, understand that being an entrepreneur may take you outside of your comfort zone. um, yeah, And that is absolutely a-okay. I have to touch on that because that's the reason why it's taken me so long to get to this point in my life where I finally accepted the vision and finally accepted the assignment, because I just was a very strong introvert. And anything outside of my me and my space was a little bit too broad, a little bit too
Mhm.
big. So I think it's important to know that you'll have to step outside of your area of comfort in order to go down the path that has been assigned for you. It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy. It's built on grit and steadfastness. Again, meaning that just because you don't like doing something or you don't feel comfortable doing something, you just don't do it. And again, just using myself, being that extreme introvert, I needed I didn't need people to give me that energy. I didn't need people to energize me. I get my energy from being by myself. I guess that's what makes me such a good writer. That's where I do my biggest thinking. I think, and I can come up with all these grand ideas and stuff. I don't need other people to help me do that. But when you
Mhm.
involve people and collaborate, it makes it even better. But again, with my writing history, it took a lot for me to get to the point that, when the community theater voice first came, I was like, what? I don't even know how to do that. What does
Yeah,
that even
that's
involve?
pretty bold.
So
Yeah.
I had to step outside of my area of comfort because as an extreme introvert who is, feels a little awkward around a whole lot of people, I had to gather the people. I had to get them to my house. I had to
Mm.
I headed up everything, the rehearsals, everything. I mean, nothing that didn't involve people. I had to
Mm.
do it all. Um, and even with the drama series, the same thing. You know, it was my vision. So
Mm.
I was the one who had to initiate it and get
Right.
everybody there. And it took a lot. I'm going to tell you, sometimes at the end of the day, or when everybody finally left my house, or when
Mhm.
I got back home, or whatever the situation was, I always just go and just breathe, because during that period, I had to step outside of myself and
Mhm.
actually be someone else
Mhm.
temporarily. I'm not the life of the party type person. And to be the person who had to initiate all this
Right.
excitement and
Right.
energy to with everybody else took a lot of effort on my part. So, yeah, so again, I think that in order to get to the place that we're really meant to be, sometimes we have to get uncomfortable. This
Mhm.
is not very comfortable for me right
Mhm.
now. I'll just tell
Mhm.
you that. And but we got to do what we have to do. So
Right.
please, I just want to encourage you, don't let opportunities pass you by just because you don't feel comfortable in that space. Be willing to step outside of yourself to do something that could totally change your direction, your pathway, your life. I had thoughts of what I wanted to do by the time I graduated from high school, but I decided to deter from that path because I didn't think it would be comfortable for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the next thing I would say is, as I said earlier, that anyone can be an entrepreneur, but in my opinion, you don't have to go to college to be an entrepreneur. But I do think there are some basic principles or some things that I think would be a benefit to you if you had knowledge of it. As an entrepreneur, you're in business to sell something, and I know that most of us say we're not salespeople. We don't feel comfortable selling,
Right.
um, but if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be selling something. You're either selling a service or a product.
Mhm.
So having a marketing background or just some insight on some marketing principles is always good. You could never go wrong by concentrating in that area. Another good area of concentration for entrepreneurship is communications. Communications is key. How you talk to people, how you interact with people, negotiating deals, even the whole social media piece, because right now social media is how we communicate
Right.
unless we're face to face. So that's where knowing how to sell yourself on paper and through your words, which is where writers like me come in. We actually do that for you. But if you're trying to manage teams and people, then you definitely want to have some good communication skills. Do a lot of reading outside of your, every day, when you're finished at the end of the day before you go to bed. Do a lot of reading. There are so many books on leadership. Make it a point to read something every day or to listen to podcasts like this one that focus on leadership. So whether it's through a college degree or some certification course, you want to have some knowledge in those areas: marketing, communications, leading people. Lastly, make sure you learn your craft. What is it that you want to sell or market? Know your craft. Is that something you could learn in school? Or can you learn more by actually working within that field for about a year? Maybe come out of school, work within that field, and pick up whatever you can, and then go someplace else for another year, maybe getting a different perspective there. Getting that real life MBA,
Right.
because sometimes we go to school and we come out of school and we think, okay, this is it, the magic's going to happen. But get a real life feel. So in about 3 years of working in that particular industry or field, to garner as much field experience and knowledge as you can before actually pursuing your own entrepreneurial path. So college or not, I guess it depends on your craft and what it is you're intending to do. Then you decide if you want to go to college the full term, earn some certifications, or just work in the industry
Mhm.
first. So yeah.
Great. You gave a lot of pearls of wisdom there that I think will benefit a lot of people. And I think talking about getting that those real world experiences, whether it's right after school, a lot of opportunities are available for students during the summer. And so I speak a lot about, how do you spend your time? What are you doing?
Mhm.
Who have you asked? Even whether it's to shadow someone for an hour or a half a day, a
Mhm.
week, anything that you can experience and learn from and get some of those pearls of wisdom and hands-on experience will also help you determine, do I really want to do this? I thought I liked this, but I don't really
Yes.
like this. So, I mean, to be able to do that even
Yes.
before you finish high school
Mhm.
is even better. And I think a lot of industries are expecting you to do something like that, even especially if you go to college. They're expecting you to have those real life experiences during your downtime or whether you're in school at the same time. So as we round this, go ahead.
Yeah, just one more thing I just
Yeah.
thought of as you were talking, I probably should add, and that is I just want to encourage you also to not expect to know it all as right after graduation, after you graduate from high school, not to know exactly what it is. It's okay if you're not sure what your path is, if you don't know what you want to do. My daughter actually, when she started college, she went to Virginia Commonwealth University, and she went in with one major. She changed her major 3 times
Right.
before she actually graduated. Now, granted, she was still able to graduate on time because she had taken some pre-college courses while she was in high school. So it
Mm-hmm.
got her on a smooth path. But she changed her major 3 times, and it was a total extreme, the
Mm-hmm.
change from what she went in for to what
Or
she actually came out with. But at the end of the day, I think I can say that she was very satisfied with what her degree is in, and she's working in that field. So it's okay if you don't know, and
right.
sometimes we do need that time to just sort of feel ourselves and do some maybe work here and there to just decide, figure it out what it is we want to do.
Right. And I've got twins that are in that process right now, applying to college.
Mhm.
But I think it's important what you said. A lot of times you think you want to go one way, and then you
Mhm.
get there and you take different classes and you
Mhm.
realize, wow, I really like that. And so it's okay not to know exactly what you want to do, but you
Right.
also, when you're doing that research, you need to make sure that that college is big enough and has a broad
Mhm.
enough field of majors that if you change your mind, then you don't have to change
Mhm.
schools. And so I think that's really important that
Right.
you shared that she had that opportunity to change 3 times and find what she really was passionate about. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
As we round this out, can you talk about how do you define success?
hmm Yeah, that's a very good question. And most of us, we're familiar with the old adage of you go to school, get a good job, get a college education. Um, well, go to school, get a college education, get a good job. And for
Mhm.
most people, that is success. You'd be successful. Good job, benefits, something that's going to carry you through to retirement.
Right.
And, that's the path that most of us choose. And most people would say you've had a successful career. So it's normal, it's safe, and it's within that level of comfort. There I go again. I'm just
Mhm.
really big right now on us understanding that we don't it's okay to not always be comfortable. So I'm not going to knock that because it's exactly what I did. I went to school, earned my bachelor's degree in an area that absolutely has no influence in my life right now, by the way, 30 years later. But I actually earned a six-figure salary before I was led to retire early in late 2019.
Mhm.
Was I successful? And most people would probably say yes, I was. But if you ask me, I would say that I was safe and I had security, but
Mhm.
was not living to my full potential. I was not. I was not living my dream. Even though I was doing my gigs on the side, I was not fully satisfied because that was just a little tip of it.
Mhm.
And I felt like I was letting God down, just to be honest with you. I felt like I was letting him down. And I say that only a person can measure their success. They would have to know their level of success. When you go to bed at night, knowing your level, knowing that you're living your dream, and carrying out that assignment that has been specifically assigned to you. Are you
Mhm.
doing that?
Mhm.
Are you
Mhm.
fulfilling that? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? That is when you know you're successful. If you can go to bed at night knowing, oh man, I did this, I did that, and I did everything with, and I think I've made it. Someone else might look at you and don't see success when they see you.
Right.
But if you know that you're fulfilling your assignment and doing what was meant for you to be doing, success is not all about money.
Mhm.
It's not all about making the big bucks. There are lots of wealthy people in the world who may not be very happy, um, who may not be fulfilled in their life. And I don't know if I would call that being successful.
Mhm. Mhm. Excellent. I think everything that you've shared has been so beneficial for anyone who listens to it, and I thank you for that. Are there any other, is there anything else that maybe we didn't talk about that you want to cover before we close?
Um, no, I would just share my information again, and where you can get to my resources.
Okay.
So you can follow me on Facebook. I am Sylvia Montgomery, entrepreneur. Or you could go to my website, and I'll repeat that again. It's www.simsps1.com, and that's Sims with two M's. Or you can email me at that same name, simsps1@gmail.com. When you go to my website, you can view the frequently asked questions there that talk about the work opportunities in customer service support, as well as the financial services industry. And we are helping to pay startup costs in the customer service division right now. So that is a good thing there. So don't hesitate to reach out to learn specifically what those details are and what entails there. So if you're looking to earn some extra money right now, that is a good opportunity for those of you who are old enough. You got to be
Mhm.
18. And again, you can work from anywhere there. Now, if you're interested in learning more about purpose, because I talk about that a lot, and I have written some blogs around purpose. Because there may be some who do not know their purpose.
Mhm.
So you'll also find some blogs around purpose on my website as well. You can go to my blog page there and check those out as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I always
Thank you.
end with remember how you spend your time matters. And I thank you for taking time to speak with me. I thank you for listening to my podcast, and I encourage others to do the same at Time Matters Podcast. You can find it on all the platforms. So again, thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Thank you so much, Cherise. I really do appreciate taking the time to do this. This is a very important thing. So
Thank you.